Spokane listens when business talks. Welcome to Business Talks, the region's only local business talk show with your host, Ryan McNeice. Business Talks is brought to you by our friends at STCU and Well Dressed Walrus. Now, let's get down to business with Business Talks.
Welcome to Business Talks. I'm Ryan McNeice, and we're here in the studio with Robyn Nance, the founder of Teen and Kid Closet, and also longtime anchor, KXLY. Thank you, Robyn.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We had you on the show last year, and we continue to talk over the last year of bringing you back because so much is happening and continues to happen with Teen and Kid Closet. Number one, you're doing quite a bit of rebranding as we speak. Tell us about that.
So about 6 months ago, we combined forces with another organization. So we, for 10 years, had been just Teen Closet, in which we cared for just teenagers in foster care, teenagers in poverty, and homeless teenagers. But we combined with another group. It was called the Clothing Perk because they handled the little kids. Right. So they took care of and clothed babies through 12-year-olds, and we carried on. But we just really felt that it was best served the community all together and under one roof, much easier for families.
To bring all the respective needs together in one spot.
Yeah, it's really been great. And so we moved to a new location. We had been out in the valley. We moved to a new location, 307 East Sprague, the old BSN Sports Building. Okay. And the KXLY Extreme team, Mark Peterson and his group, came in, knocked out some walls for us, really made it a beautiful, beautiful spot for kids to come and shop for free.
Well, obviously we all know it's an amazing organization, and you just touched on a second ago the concept really of collaboration and this concept in the beginning that you had some segregation between the different needs, and yet you brought that all under one roof. What are some other organizations within our community that you collaborate with on?
Well, it's really amazing. I have found that when we first started about 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago, it was a nonprofit, every man for himself kind of thing. You know, we're all vying for donation dollars. They're valuable and not, and everybody has to make a decision on where to hand out their money when they're coming to charitable organizations. But in the last few years, it's been amazing to see this kind of regrouping within the nonprofit world. So Embrace Washington, which is a fantastic organization. It was founded by Kevin Parker, former state senator, and is headed by a fantastic woman who is just a bull in a china shop when it comes to like getting things done. She's amazing. But they basically take care of everything when it comes to kids in foster care. They support, they throw parties for social workers, they do a giant Christmas party, they grant wishes to kids. It's amazing. And they always take us along with them. They always promote Teen and Kid Closet. They help us get some donations. So they have been wonderful. Safety Net, which helps kids when they age out of foster care. We clothe the kids that are aging out. They help promote us as well. We do lots of fundraisers together. Also Project Beauty Share, which is another fantastic local organization. They get together all kinds of hygiene products and makeup for young ladies. And so they turn around and then also donate those to a number of organizations. We're one of those fortunate ones. And then another fantastic group that we have partnered with just this year is the Spokane Beard and Mustache Club. A really super fun.
The name alone sparks a bit of an interest. So.
What's even more interesting is their president is a woman.
Okay.
They're fantastic.
Okay.
So she's called a whiskerina.
See,
and so you make your own beer.
irony.
It's so much fun. So they choose a nonprofit one a year and then just support them for a whole year, do donations, volunteer. And so we were fortunate enough, Embrace Washington and Teen and Kid Closet combined, and they're raising funds for us and supporting us for a year. And it's really so heartwarming, I think, to see everybody coming together just for the cause of kids.
Well, Robyn, I think there's several kind of complex points there. I think that you make that you're illustrating really well is, number one, you are right, within Spokane or any community, folks have to vie for those respective dollars, and that's a very good point. But interestingly, I think what you're describing is not only do they have to vie for those dollars, those same folks are actually coming together to attempt to not have gaps in service, I think, is what I'm
that's
hearing, because these have a
exactly
lot
right.
of crossover.
We do, and we're not duplicating services. We all are caring for the same group of kids. We are just doing different things
Right.
to support them. And what's really great is some of the folks from Safety Net started a networking. Like once a quarter, they invite anybody who has to do with kids in foster care. So people from all different areas come together, network, have like a happy hour, and sit together and share ideas and figure out, oh, well, we could be doing this and you're doing that. It's really cool.
And then each respective group can kind of figure out how they
And then
respectively improve.
And you have somebody to contact too. If you say, oh, I have a kid that has this need, or gosh, I remember something about, making a step towards this for another child. It's really great to have those connections. So it's great.
Well, if you go back to the beginning, your co-founder, Linda Rogers, how did it start? I'll go a little further than that. What was the original seed or impetus? What was the passion that you had as to why do this? Because as an anchor and longtime anchor, you have a busy life. And as a mom.
Well, one of my duties at KXLY, and I started this in, I think, 2004, was my feature Wednesday's Child, which once a week I feature kids on KXLY that are in desperate need of adoption. These are kids, most of them are over the age of 8, and a lot of them are teenagers. And I have always kind of had a heart for those kids, especially after meeting so many of them and realizing they need something, and I can't be a foster parent to all of them.
Although
but
you
what
may
can
want
I do?
to,
I kind of want to, some of them.
No, I understand.
But I met Linda Rogers when I had done a story on just the desperate need for foster families. So I met her along with another foster parent recruiter, and we hit it off. And she said, a lot of people can't be foster parents, but there are other things they can do and other ways the community can support them.
Other ways to contribute.
Let's get together over coffee and kind of figure some of those things out, and let's talk about it. So we'd planned to meet for coffee, and in the meantime, both of us watched this story that Peter Jennings, was anchoring one night on ABC News about a girl in Florida who started this little boutique for teenage girls in foster care. We both saw it. We're both really fired up about it, and we're like, this is amazing.
That's interesting that you both were essentially moved at the same time.
Yeah, and so we met for coffee and said, I asked her, she'd been in that community, she'd been a foster parent for 20 years, and I said, well, is there anything like that for area kids? She says, I have never heard of anything like it. So we said, let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, and I think that's a good point. You have had the ability to do it. You've had the platform to do it. And you often hear that individuals will feel moved that, hey, I have a voice, and maybe for folks that don't have as much of a voice, but you also have the platform to potentially make a difference, and that's what you've done.
And we not a lot of brains between the two of us. We have the big hearts, but and we joke about it now because the joke is that if we had known what it was going to take to get where we are, I'm not sure we would have gone there. So it's almost better.
I don't think there's an organization out there, professional, nonprofit, et cetera, that ignorance is bliss. If you knew what you didn't know at the beginning, you might, but then look where you are.
It's true.
At this point.
And look how many more kids we have helped. That's what I keep thinking back at when I think, oh my gosh, it's been such a mountain to climb, and so we have so much farther to go. But if you think about it, it's like, oh, but we helped thousands of kids already.
Yep.
And
You've
we have
made a
thousands
difference.
more to do.
You've made a difference in many more ways as you continue to collaborate with these individual nonprofits and otherwise here in our community. There's going to be many, many more stories. But as you're indicating, there are lots of stories that can illustrate what this organization is. And sometimes that is difficult with nonprofits or otherwise, but with nonprofits, that telling the story and having people understand not only the need, but then maybe how that organization effectively fulfills that need. Sometimes it's difficult to get that story across. Yeah. Why don't you give us a couple stories that maybe do illustrate not only the need, but how it works?
Last night, I was actually working in the closet last night, and there was a grandma who came in, and she has 3 grandchildren that she and her husband now have custody of. This woman was asthmatic, and like she said, she was not very healthy, but she has a 9-month-old baby, a 2-year-old, and a 5-year-old at her house now that she's caring for. She came in and said, we weren't planning on raising our grandkids. We financially were not at all. We are in a desperate situation, and we're so grateful that you're here to help. So I helped her round up lots and lots of clothes. They're all free. Those kids can be referred in another 6 months. So what happens is a social worker, or oh my goodness, so many different organizations can refer. Social workers, school counselors, somebody from Head Start has referred. We've had attorneys refer. We had I got a referral today from Sacred Heart. Just all different, basically. Organizations or individuals who are in the know of a family situation.
Yeah, somehow the issue almost naturally seems to come to them in that respective profession that they're in.
So they can go online and refer a kid to us to come and shop for free, and then we basically take it from there. We'll contact them, set up an appointment, and like for the woman who had little bitty kids, it's okay if you don't bring your kids, but when it comes to the teenagers, we really like them to shop for themselves.
To give them an opportunity to make the decision for themselves, see how this is benefiting their lives. And you yourself have been very involved within the foster care program as well. So you're seeing all aspects of the needs within this community.
Yeah, we became foster parents about a little more than 3 years ago, and we just every 3 years you have to get recertified. So we just got our recertification, and we've had 4 kids in our home since then. We usually take the little bitty ones. We now have a 9-year-old who's amazing, but to see these kids in their circumstances, it's totally different. It's to learn kind of what is going on behind the scenes, and then to see the need. I mean, I literally have had kids come with nothing. I had one little one came with pajamas, and then one came with a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't his and didn't fit. And
not applicable.
It was really, really strange. Yeah, it was really strange.
Why do you even have this?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And so it's been really eye-opening, that part of it. But we'd started Teen and Kid Closet years before that. And, just seeing what we see, you sometimes know a story and you sometimes have no idea what's going on.
For those, you just mentioned the recertification for individuals that would be interested in the foster care side of it. When you mention certification and or barrier to being able to do it, how hard is it, for lack of a better phrase, or what is the process to be able to do what you've done?
Gosh, always start with just going online and doing some research.
Doing some investigation.
Yeah, a little bit. And then there's an orientation. Before you do anything else, the DSHS puts on an orientation. It's a couple of hours, and you will get a pretty good idea if this is something you really want to do or not.
Are you
in
up for
that
this?
time.
And does this work for your life?
And then it talks about the strenuous process to becoming a foster parent, and it should be strenuous. I mean, these are children with a lot of needs that come into your home. And so then you go, so if you go through the orientation, decide this is what you want to do, then it's a whole set of things. It's you take classes. It's 24 hours. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly, but it's a lot of hours.
Total classes?
Class time.
Class hours.
And then it's background checks and home studies, and it's a process, but absolutely should be.
Well, and an opportunity on both sides, meaning it should be rigorous, but at the same time, obviously, should be avenues for people that want to do it, because it's an opportunity for the kids and for the parents and families.
Yeah, and the need is so great. And I know that every year I feel like they say, it's never been worse, it's never been worse. But we have kids right now that I'm hearing stories that sometimes kids are coming into care. They have nowhere to put them. They're literally taking them to hotels. They're having to stay in a hotel overnight until they can try to track down a family. Sally's house is an emergency foster home at Salvation Army. They're having to turn people away. They just don't have the room. The need is so great right now.
Well, and you're seeing it up close. You're seeing it through your schedule with KXLY. You're obviously seeing it with Teen Closet as a foster parent. So you do see it up close. Interestingly, it's ironic how folks can go through their lives and not even know that exists until you pull back the veil and realize how much is going on, how much collaboration in our community is going on to fulfill these needs. Let's come right back, because I do want to talk about some of the upcoming events that you have going. One exciting one is Socktober Dash. So let's come back after a short break and talk about Socktober Dash. Thank you.
Welcome to Tom Sawyer Country Coffee.
Tom Sawyer Country Coffee only roasts the finest organic coffee for our signature blends. Enjoy a cup at our coffee shop and local businesses and organizations across the region.
I'm Tom Sawyer, and we choose the Pacific Northwest.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
Welcome back to Business Talks. Ryan McNeice here in the studio with Robyn Nance, Teen and Kid Closet. Robyn, we were talking about so many aspects of Teen and Kid Closet, as well as the foster care program and the extreme needs in our community. To fulfill those needs, it takes a village, so to speak. It takes a lot of collaboration. You've spoken about that. What are some of the events that are coming up that allow members of the community to come out and contribute, take part, and really kind of further promote what you're trying to do?
We have a couple of real easy ones, but one of the easiest, I would say, would be every month. Papa Murphy's. There are 7 locations of Papa Murphy's that take part in. It's a donation drive. Actually, all you do is go buy pizza.
Right.
So the second Thursday of every month.
I
know you can.
I like pizza.
And you have kids who probably like pizza as well.
Absolutely.
So it's the second Thursday of every month. Papa Murphy's, 7 locations, as I mentioned, basically give 9% of their profits to Teen and Kid Closet to help us keep the doors open. And they've been doing it for years.
That's actually, from a percentage standpoint, it's substantial.
It's fantastic.
If you were hearing 2%, 1%, 9%.
9. And it is, I'm going to try to get them all if I can. It's the shop on 29th, Northwest Boulevard, Francis, I know I'm going to forget some, Trent, Argonne and Trent.
This is like an Oscar
Airway
speech.
Heights.
You do not want to forget your
I know
agent.
I'm going to, and I just already drew a blank.
But Robyn,
there's a handful.
There's a handful, but almost all Papa Murphy's in Spokane Valley.
So I also, we post it every month on the Teen Kid Closet Facebook page. So if you just follow us, like our page, and then you can get the updates. And all you do, just go buy pizza. You don't have to do anything extra. But along with that, in October, we have a really fun program. It's called Socktober Dash. Now, Papa Murphy's participates. They let you bring in new socks. And if you donate socks, they'll give a portion off of your pizzas.
Okay.
And then they donate all to us, and we try to collect socks throughout the month of October. I&B branches, all of them will also collect socks, and we're working on some others. And then we culminate with this really fun run. It starts at Maribel Park. It's either a 5K or a 10K, if I remember correctly. And it's a family event, so fun for the family. We encourage everybody to wear crazy socks, and we give out little coffee cards and fun little prizes for the most fun socks. And at the end of the race, there's free Papa Murphy's pizza. They cook it right there. Ben & Jerry's comes with free ice cream.
I like this idea.
Kind bars there. And we just do a fun run, get together.
So how many years has this Socktober Dash been occurring?
It's only 2. Because we used to do this giant 50-mile relay race. It was called the TC50, which
I remember
you
that.
know about that one.
Yep.
So we used to do that, and we did that one for 5 years, and we decided, let's be a little more family-friendly.
Yeah, well,
you have to be some serious runners, because it was 50 miles.
You can't just show up thinking, you know what, forgot about that yesterday, but I'm going to do it today. You got to be prepared for that.
You do, because there you got to have car loads going, and it was a lot of fun, but this is a lot more family-friendly.
I actually just like the whole idea, how eclectic, like you said, a little bit costuming and theater with coming up with some crazy socks.
It's a lot of fun, and we hope to grow that race, and we'd love any kind of sponsorship, participation, anything at all. Love, the more the merrier.
I like it, and again, it's interesting to see how. And I think this is obviously a testament to yourself and to Linda for bringing in the partners that you have. That Papa Murphy's, again, not only plays their part within their own sites, within their own sales, and 9% of their sales, but also then cross contributes, if you will,
They're amazing.
with this October Dash.
Yeah.
So I like that. It's a great idea.
We have some really great partners.
What are some other stories that illustrate, whether it's a 15-year-old individual
Yep.
in need? Tell us a little more about, for lack of a better word, a success story.
We have so many stories, and if you come and volunteer, and we love volunteers, you will just really get the mission right away. I was in there working a couple months ago, and there was a group of teenage boys who all live in one home, a foster home that only takes teenage boys. And these boys came in, and they were just the sweetest. And one of them these kids also have to sometimes appear in court for their family's cases and stuff. So
Right.
this boy said, I have court coming up, and I really want to look nice. So he specifically found a dress shirt, and he wanted a tie. And he was looking at clip-on ties. And we had a volunteer who was in there from the Spokane Beard and Mustache Club who was volunteering with us, taught this boy how to tie a tie. It absolutely melted my heart. I posted a picture.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, I did post a picture, but you can't, for anonymity's sakes, you can't show faces.
Right.
So that's one of the hard things when you have these wonderful stories to
And
not
you're
be
wanting
able.
to- yeah,
you can't look
yep.
into that child's eyes and see the effect that it's having. So we have to show feet or hands or the back of a head.
Well, actually, that's an interesting point, too, because in terms of getting authorization to potentially promote that individual or that story as a minor, there's got to be a guardian issue, which...
And some of the kids are brought in by their parents if they are considered, if they're not the foster kids, if they're in poverty. Sometimes their bio parents bring them in, and then they can tell us that's fine, to use their picture. But we just really want to be careful. Some of the kids come in. It's really interesting to see the look on a kid who doesn't know much about us. They just know I'm going to get, to this place, and they're giving me clothes. So they, in their minds, I think they think it's a clothing bank, and it's nothing like that at all. When you think about stuff stacked up or dirty, this is beautiful. Our place is truly beautiful. It's kids walk in kind of like reserved, and then they'll start looking around, and they're like, really? I don't have to pay you any money.
Nice.
This is amazing. And then they'll walk around and they get to choose their own thing. Our goal really is, and it even says it on our Facebook page and our website, the goal is to really focus on the dignity of that child. Each child, whatever their circumstances, whatever their story, doesn't matter. It is about them being special.
I think the psychology is actually fascinating, and the point you're making is pretty powerful, that if these kids or otherwise are used to maybe a food bank type situation where they're thinking this is a handout or this is a gift, I think, as you said, or charitable, obviously it is charitable, but to convert that psychology into what it is, which is promoting and uplifting their confidence versus that it is just a handout, I think, as you said. So I think that visual that you're describing of somebody coming in and seeing what this looks like raises that bar immediately.
It does. And I've had kids who literally wouldn't look at my eyes when they come in because they're like, ugh. Those are the kids that will say thank you 50 times or give you a hug. I've had hugs from kids. I'm thinking it really, truly, like, I will leave in tears sometimes. It's amazing.
It's why you're doing what you're doing, though.
And it keeps you going.
Absolutely.
I've had times where I thought, I'm going to start stepping back because I've got amazing board members and I've got amazing volunteers. So I'll just do more of the business part of it and just, and then, but then you can't. Then you have to volunteer. Our board is a working board.
It's what's fueling you.
But you have to go in there and say, this is why we do all the other stuff, all the other things that are not nearly as exciting as helping kids on the ground. And it's just so much fun.
Well, I'm sure I'll butcher the example, but what's the starfish story in terms of the kid on the beach that said, I couldn't possibly throw all these starfish, save all these starfish.
Save all of them.
Well, can I just save one? And but you are exemplifying that story that you're saving one at a time, contributing to the quality of their life one at a time. And you're feeling it. You're seeing it up close.
Absolutely. And I used to think like, oh, well, it's just clothes. It's not just clothes.
Right.
I mean, it really isn't. It's about dignity. It's about fitting in. It's about feeling special.
Right.
It's about not being made fun of or feeling self-conscious. These are kids who have so much going against them.
But so much potential.
But exactly. I had a girl who's, so I have a daughter. She's 15, and her name is Ryan.
It's a great name, by the way.
I would agree.
Right.
I love it. I had a girl who came in to shop, 15 years old, named Ryan. I literally almost took her home that day, but she was between foster homes, and she was also going to be involved in the Mockingbird Society, which is a group of older teenagers in foster care who lobby the state and are a group that has a voice. And she said, I'm looking for a dress, something dressy to wear for a Mockingbird event, and I want to feel good. So we helped her. We found her all kinds of cool stuff, and it was awesome. She left thanking us repeatedly.
Well, perfect example of somebody, maybe a bit cliche, but that comes into a situation and leaves potentially a different person on a different path, potentially. Robyn, thank you so much for being here. But what is the best way for folks to learn more about Teen Closet and Kids? Well, it's actually Teen and Kid Closet because of the rebranding.
Right. Yep.
How can folks find out more and participate more?
Well, I would love to have it. Spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word.
And any volunteers, any donations of any kind. We take very gently used clothes and brand new stuff. We usually post that all on Facebook. So Teen and Kid Closet on Facebook, or teenkidcloset.org.
Well, and I would encourage individuals just to merely even Google what you're doing, because the images that are coming up, I think, illustrate and exemplify what you're describing, which is this is extremely professionally done. And I think for the kids and the confidence level, you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me spread it.
Thanks for joining us.
Business Talks is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Ask a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Business Talks is brought to you by our friends at STCU and Well Dressed Walrus. Business Talks wishes you good business and a good day.